Greetings, people. Today I shall be starting a new series. A series where I point out the flaws of creepypastas while also simultaneously reading at them at the same time. Today I'm going to be reading a creepypasta that was kicked off of the creepypasta wiki itself that has been moved to the Scare Factor wiki, to the Spin Pasta wiki. Actually, I did a previous edit on this on my computer, but it turned out to have some paragraphs cut, and I didn't feel like doing the entire thing again, so I'm recording it on my crappy phone. This is probably gonna be the last time I'm recording my phone. At least the last few times. I can't guarantee that, but I'll see if I can try to record on my computer for future episodes. With that being said, let's go tear this crap apart. Story I'll be starting today is Max Ruby 004. It isn't as bad as other creepypastas, I know, but it isn't that good either. Most people seem to defend this story, saying it's a classic, and it should be what Lost episodes should be. However, I actually think that Squidward's suicide is actually a better written story than this garbage, and I'll point out why. So yeah, allow me to present to you Max and Ruby 004. It was just a Christmas that went by, and things were getting busy. I just starting to buy presents for my family, and I just finished shopping. But I still need to grab a present for my little cousin. She's not that very hard to shop since she's 4, and she likes things like Peppa Pig and My Little Pony. She's really interested in and I say liked for a reason, Max and Ruby. So I decided that when I'm looking for a present, I figured that something like a Max and Ruby DVD would be perfect, since she liked to watch it on a daily basis. However, Christmas meant that most of the online DVDs would be sold in most places. I went to look on eBay as well, but I figured I could not trust in the condition of what DVDs would have been, so I was stuck in a rut in a while until that package arrived. I was home scrolling for a stupid DVD, and I heard something being pushed into my letterbox. Rule number 1 for creepypastas: you get a mysterious random package from the middle of nowhere, because the protagonist is a freaking Mary Sue. Not really in this case, but still, you get my point. I caught a hold of what my dog did, and looked into the package. It seemed to be wrapped fairly badly, and what looked to be grease marks and stains on it. And like anyone would, I decided to open the package, and inside was something that I could not imagine. It was a Max and Ruby DVD, but not like one I'm seeing online. It was just some little kid that drawn on the front cover of a marker. Title was just Max and Ruby, what looked to be a poorly drawn illustration of Max and Ruby on the front. There was no names or anything, but the back had a list of 4 episodes of all blunt titles. Episode 1, Episode 2, Episode 3, Episode 4. I gave the DVD a watch over, just and to my surprise, the episodes were all perfect quality. It seemed to have no flaws. It was just as a real DVD. It was just a homemade cover. The only thing was odd was this episode selection on the screen. The episode had a name, but they were all called Max and Ruby 1, with the numbers being changed as it went down the list. The actual selection screen was just a plain white screen with black text on the episode list, and nothing else. After giving it much thought, I decided to change a little nice by printing out a DVD cover that I found on Google and tracked down the names of the episodes so they were labeled right. Alright, here's the main problem. They say that they tracked down the names of the episodes, but that means they should have seen the 4th episode, 004, right? So, why is it suddenly pulling out something random, scary, if they already tracked down the episodes? That's literally just contradictory. I left the episode left alone because I figured it was self-explanatory. Christmas went by and things were fine. I gave my little cousin her DVD and she was happy with all through Christmas. But that was only because she hadn't watched it yet. On Boxing Day, the family had gone out for a meal and left me to babysit my cousin. I was not too bad about being left at home. I figured now was a good time to put on the DVD for her. I had to put the DVD and let it play. While I was in the kitchen eating my dinner, from what I could hear, she had watched episodes 1 to 3 so far. I was about to finish off my noodles when I heard my cousin scream from the other room. Dropping everything, I ran to the living room, and I saw my cousin curl up on the floor screaming. I looked up into the DVD, and I felt my hearts in my throat. What I caught a glimpse of was the most disturbing thing I've ever seen. It would have appeared to be a frame of Max and Ruby standing next to each other in complete darkness. But what made it so horrible was their lack of faces. They seem to have lost their noses and mouths, and their eyes were replaced by big hollow holes. The colors were disgusting blood red. Rule number 3, kids. You can't have a creepypasta without at least the colors red or black. It's just an absolute necessity. And the first faint static in the background. The sound was replaced by what sounded like a Max and Ruby theme playing backwards with the faint sound of static in the mix of it all. It had to be the most disturbing thing I've ever seen. I must have been on the screen for at least 20 seconds before the screen went black and the DVD turned off, which was weird as DVDs don't turn off by themselves. I was able to calm my cousin down and telling her it was not real. She had just had a nightmare, so she had fallen asleep in front of the DVD. However, I knew in my mind that it was completely real. Of course. My parents had rung me up and told me to do what they were going to do all night. So this was sounded to be the best opportunity to look at this DVD more closely. I did not mention it to them, as soon as I hung it up, I grabbed the DVD and stuck it in my laptop. As soon as I loaded, I noticed that episode 004 had now been in place of R.I.P. Mommy and Daddy, which sent a deep chill on my back. Since my cousin was now asleep, I plugged in my earbuds so she wouldn't have to hear anything. Normally, an episode of Max and Ruby would have 3 short stories, but this episode only had 1. It started off quite light-hearted, Max and Ruby playing tag in the garden, but their parents were on the porch watching them play. However, something was off. The sound wasn't playing in reverse, and the parents' faces were that of sadness. A film grain became present, and which grew worse and worse every second, and pans to the mother and father in a voice in deep sorrow. The father spoke. "It's just a shame," he sighed. It then cut to a short sound of static and a large scream, followed by 2 sounds of people choking while their mother and father mumbled to each other in the background. It was impossible to understand them. The sounds were so realistic, it almost made me physically sick. Rule number 4, kids: you have to make something very realistic, even when it's absolutely unnecessary whatsoever, if it counts as detail. The screen cut to a split second, and then the scene transitioned over to Max and Ruby standing in front of looked to be a gravestone labeled R.I.P. Mommy and Daddy. The 2 of them had no faces. At this point, there's no sound, and apart from faint static, this scene remained on screen for about a minute and a half before it cut away to black. It then changed the scene again, now showing Max and Ruby sitting in Ruby's room while untypical whispering became apparent and grew louder and louder over time. Both of them were sobbing uncontrollably while the transparent clips of a murder playing in reverse flashed on the screen. Alright, how is that even possible? How do you even notice if it's playing on reverse? The father pulled an axe out of his neck, picked up a bloody axe, and hacked away at the corpse of the mother before she came back to life and walked up by the stairs. By this point, the whisper became louder until more of the whispering voices started to disappear, and the very second it came to this one voice, it was a rather angry woman's voice who screamed, "Burn in hell!" I was absolutely horrified. The scene had to change to the most disgusting yet saddest thing I've ever witnessed. Wow, the narrator's such a big pussy. It showed Max sitting in his room. He was just standing in a chair with a noose hanging out from the ceiling. He had brought it around his neck. The scene faded to black and the static got louder. Almost instantly, it then cut to Ruby walking out on her brother. She let out a gut-twisting scream. "Remember, kids, screamers necessary, no matter what." The camera was panning on her face as the sound of the chair be kicked and the same choking began to play. This picture of Ruby's face stayed on screen for a good 5 minutes. This time, her eyes returned with the same gaping holes. Ruby started crying, and as before, there were no facial features. The static slowly grew louder and drowned out the sound of her cries. The scene then cut back to the loud static. Remember, kids, rule number 5. Static is necessary in your story, no matter what. Who cares about actual character development? No, put more static. When the screen returned, Ruby was sitting now on her own, in the garden by 2 gravestones. One was labeled R.I.P. Mommy and Daddy, the other R.I.P. Brother. She then tried to look at the camera with glowing blue pupils and to speak to me. People, this is what the entire story has been leading up to. So, prepare yourself for the big and shocking reveal. Are you guys ready? I mean, it must be so, it's just so disturbing. Well, whoever's watching this is because you never watched any of me and my brother's episodes. Also, one of these days you will regret this. This is by far one of the most pathetic excuses why a creepypasta even has to exist in the first place. At this point, I've been sick and what I was sitting was all shaken. This episode seemed to have come to an end at last, and the Max and Ruby theme song played solely in reverse. I was about to eject the DVD when the same image came up at the DVD. This time, however, there was a text above the two rabbits that says, "Death is our only release." Rule number 69. You have to you have to put needlessly edgy lines for no reason. Just to have a stupid catchphrase on a story that makes no sense. There were no credits or anything else. It stayed on this for a few seconds before the DVD finally popped out of the laptop. If you're asking about the red link there, it shows the image to the Death is our only release image, but I'm pretty sure most of you have seen it by now, so I'm not gonna show it because it's just a waste of my time, and plus I have only 3 minutes left. I sat there thinking completely what happened. In my shock and fear, I made the stupid decision to break the DVD. Rule number 420, kids. You have to break and smash the thing, that paranormal thing that you wrote about, just to have no physical evidence whatsoever. As much as I made the stupid decision to break the DVD as much as I could before leaving the house. I shoved the pieces down the drain. Thankfully, I kept the QC screenshots and saved them onto my laptop, using MS Paint. The next couple of days went past without anything unusual happening. I had a few nightmares about the DVD, but luckily that was all. My cousin had gone back home with the rest of the family. It was a late night, and my parents had gone out to dinner, leaving me to watch TV. I heard something posting something through the door. At this point, the DVD left my mind, since I last not told anyone about it. But, however, it all came flooding back, and looked down at the letter in front of me. It was just immensely folded up, and read, "Death is our only release." Alright, so my ultimate review on the story. Well, number one, I'll admit there's some good elements about it. I do like how it's not basically cliche premise all the time. And it's not something about, some stupid, it's just not some stupidly and equally retarded, origin story about, main character being in a coma all day. I'll actually, give it credit for its originality. But still, seriously, this creepypasta falls into most of the bad things that creepypasta, Lost episode creepypastas are known for, and that results into being painfully predictable and just boring to me. It's not even that fun, in terms of the gore. It's just simple and basic. Sure, stories like Barbie.avi work because it actually has suspension and belief. Not in all Lost episodes. I'll repeat. All of them fail because they're just a bunch of cartoon characters just doing something out of the ordinary. Plus, no matter how hard you try, Max and Ruby is not scary. No matter how disturbing it is or how much high-pitched noises you can do, it's just simply not scary. This is basically the main problem with Sonic.exe, but that's another torch that's another ship I'm gonna burn one day. Anyways, this has been a Super Yoshi. This has been a Peruvian Potato production, and I'll see you guys later next time in my next creepypasta review / reading. And hopefully my phone could actually get a better editing software.